All right, Chris. So is the stuff that you're telling me off air here?
Yeah.
I don't want anything to screw up with that second guest.
As far as I've heard, everything's fine with that second guest.
All right. So first guest.
First guest,
What are we talking about?
Mister.
No. When? What are we talking about? ETA.
First guest,
Yeah.
right now.
Right this second.
Right this second.
Well, we were talking about supergroups, and I already told you to beware of Mr. Baker. And obviously, he was supposed to be here about 15, 20 minutes ago. You expect a big, gigantic rock star to run a little late.
Sure.
From Cream, from Blind Faith, from... I wish I had a list of all the bands that he's been in. The great Ginger Baker is going to be here. He's out touring with his jazz band, Ginger Baker's Jazz Confusion, and they're going to be playing in New York City. I'm going to find the spot here. What's the name of this club, Chris?
The Iridium.
The Iridium in New York City, October 10, 11, 12, and 13. Go to Live Nation for stuff to do. By the way, this documentary is complete madness. If you're a musician, you will love this. If you're a guy who just loves rock and roll, you will love this. And if you're just a person who just loves to see explosions and fire and someone living bigger than life, it's beware of Mr. Baker. Let's bring in the great Ginger Baker. Ginger Baker is in studio with us. How are you, sir?
I'm conscious and breathing.
You're conscious and breathing. Late night last night?
Huh?
Were you out late last night? Is this an early morning for you?
I can't understand you.
Well, what I'm saying is just hopping up and jumping into your day.
I can't understand you.
All right, let's slow it down here a little bit. Maybe we have a headphone problem or a feedback problem. How are you, Ginger? Nice to see you. You're here to promote your...
I'm not well.
You're not well? What's going on, buddy?
I'm an old man.
Mm-hmm.
With several problems.
What kind of problems are you having, Ginger?
Oh, God, it's been publicised enough times.
Yeah.
I've got degenerative osteoarthritis combined with COPD.
And yet you're out on the road playing?
Yeah.
Whose idea was that, Ginger? To be out, touring like this when you're not feeling well?
Sometimes things you have to do, don't you?
This is one of those times.
Who?
This is one of those times that you're just doing things that you have to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're also promoting your documentary.
Am I?
Yes, that's what I was told.
Well, I didn't know that.
When the documentary came together, whose idea was that?
It certainly wasn't mine.
You didn't even want to do the documentary.
That's correct.
Mm-hmm. Now that it's done, did you like it, or?
Some of it's okay.
Mm-hmm. it starts with you taking your cane and hitting the director on the nose.
Does it?
Yes, it does.
Oh, I see.
And from then on, you go over your career as a drummer, and now you're out on the road again playing jazz.
I've always played jazz.
No matter what band you were with.
I play.
Mm-hmm. Ginger, you have one of those careers where not only did you get to play with your boyhood heroes, but your peers are big fans, and so many of the people that came behind you are big fans of yours. Is it always just been about music ever since you were a kid?
No.
No. What else interested you?
I was going to be a cyclist.
Mm-hmm.
And I had an accident that destroyed my bike. So I went to a party and there was a band there and all the kids were saying, go and play the drums, play the drums. I didn't want to. But I just sat behind the kit and I could play, and I heard one horn player say to another, bloody hell, we've got a drummer. And that's when I realised maybe I was a drummer.
You had never played the drums before the first time you sat down?
Never.
And was it even something that interested you before you sat down at the drums?
Well, yeah, I used to hit all the jazz clubs and everything, and the only person I was interested in was the drummer.
Always the drummer.
Mm-hmm.
Once you started playing drums, was that it for you? From that point on, you were always going to drum? Once you got that first taste of it?
Yeah, within 3 months, I was a professional musician.
It's amazing. Ginger Baker is here. He's out on tour. You can see him in New York City, December 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th. LiveNation.com. Or you can also go to gingerbaker.com. Your opportunity to see a legend live. One of the great musicians of his generation.
Any generation.
Of any generation. I don't want to limit to just this generation, but we know one of the great musicians of recorded music. We're not sure what happened before recorded music, but we can pretty much figure out, since we started recording music with drums, it's Ginger Baker. Some of the stuff that you did too, Ginger, there's a thing with those drum battles that you would do. Where
I didn't do a drum battle.
What would you have called it? What was that called?
Drum duets.
It was more of a duet than a battle. Most of the time people thought of it as a competition.
Well, that's a stupid thing that people get in their heads.
Promoters, yeah.
People, I don't know.
But you think of it more as two guys working together.
Playing together.
Mm-hmm. And those some of the funnest times you've ever had on the road? Being with other drummers like that?
That was certainly enjoyable. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Going over the book, and the movie, Beware of Mr. Baker, which is out now for anybody who wants to see it. So many of the great bands that you played with. Is there a time that you look back, Ginger, and you say that was the band, that was the peak, or
no?
Just like it all.
Well, some of it.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it I don't.
What period what do you think makes a great band? What brings a band together?
The drummer.
Just so is the drummer. Because you think of that as the central part of any band.
It's an old saying, the band's only as good as the drummer.
The band is only as good as a drummer. You know, when you...
The drummer.
The drummer. The degenerative disease that you have of your spine, how are you able to play when you have when you're dealing with this kind of pain?
The playing bit's all right.
Yeah. When you
It's before and after, like right now.
yeah,
It's
right,
very painful. I need to lay down, not sit down.
you're in a great amount of pain, and they have you out on the road promoting this stuff. But the time that you're playing itself, that's wonderful. You actually feel good,
Obviously.
obviously. Well, your chance to see Ginger Baker when he is feeling well in New York City, October 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th.
Well, it's sold out.
Everything is sold out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why are we advertising it?
I have no idea, Ginger.
Nor do I.
But we're here together now. That's the important part. Well, you want us to get you a place where you can lay down a little bit?
Well, I'd rather get it over with and go back to the hotel.
All right, why don't we do that then, Ginger? Why don't we get you back to your people here so you can get down, lay down, and get back to the hotel? I do want to tell you, there's so many people out there that are big fans of your work, and you're one of the most well-respected musicians. We appreciate everything that you've done, and I wish you nothing but the best, okay?
Well, thank you very much.
And,
very nice of you.
And you belong to, you've earned the right to rest a little bit. So best of luck to you, okay, my friend? The great Ginger Baker. Oh, God, you guys are missing it. Ginger is laying Fez out right now because he doesn't want to sign the cream thing that Jack Bruce has already signed.
Oh, no.
Why do they have this gentleman out on the road? He's in terrible condition.
Don't know who made that decision.
You got his tea? You got to get him back and let him rest. He's not feeling well.
Yeah, I know. We got this all in here.
He's not feeling well. Yeah, all right. Take care.
Yeah, you too, mate.
No worries at all. It was a pleasure. It was
a legend.
It was so much fun.
Best drummers all time.
He was in no mood for the it's like he has this. He's in constant pain. He actually was saying I had to help him out of his chair.
Yeah.
He thought he was going to be staying in the hotel all day. They get him up and bring him here. He's got this COPD. He's got a lung disease.
Jesus.
I feel somewhat responsible because all day I'm like, oh, Ginger Baker's coming over. I'm going to see this madman. He's
A little sick.
in no mood for this. But he was just out there. I just saw, like, Fez has a Cream album, right? That Jack Bruce has already signed. He says, could we just get you to sign it? Fucking hell, mate. No way. Stick it on. I'm like, oh, this is great. Why aren't we taping this?
I didn't want him to freak out when I fixed his headphones.
He needed that. He couldn't
Yeah.
hear.
Yeah.
He couldn't hear. Why would they make this guy get up and come in like that?
I wanted to take a goddamn nap.
He's earned the right. He's earned the. I don't know how they have him playing gigs. Thomas, you're on the Run of Fez show.
That was the greatest Eastside Dave bit ever.
It was really, it's a remarkable thing. He's a remarkable musician, and I should punch Leeds in the side for having the gentleman come in. Tom in New York, you're on the Run of Fez show.
Ron, I always play jazz.
I love him. I love it. Here's the thing, when you feel that bad, right?
Yeah.
And you're still ready to throw hands if need be. You know what I mean?
No.
He would still be ready to clear the place out. But I had that feeling, I don't know whether you ever did this when you were a kid, but they have you go meet like an elderly relative, and they're forced to come out and do things that they don't want to do. Ginger is not well.
I had a grandmother like that.
Mark, everyone did. Mark, you're on the Run of Fez show.
Ron, was that the most uncomfortable interview you've ever done?
I wasn't uncomfortable at all, other than the fact that I'm like, he really doesn't need this.
Well, that's the first time I've ever heard you do an interview where at the end you didn't say, I'll see you next time you come through.
Oh, I don't think that's going to happen.
Because, I mean, he's a great guy. There's no doubt, and one of the best musicians ever, but he totally wasn't in it.
He's very ill. He's
What's the stuff wrong with him, man?
Has real legitimate health problems,
well,
and his people have him out doing stuff. Darren, you're on the Run of Fez show.
Fucking wow. Did you see that shit coming, Ron?
No, obviously I had no idea about it. But the man is sick. He's wearing shades. Yeah. He's as white as a ghost.
Mm-hmm. Frail.
Yeah, he's frail. He definitely doesn't seem like he should be out on the road and playing gigs. He's not well. I mean, it's not like he was in being a dick. It's like he's not well.
And he's got a lot of dates coming up. All the rest of the week. And then, that's just in New York.
Austin, you're on the Run of Fez show.
Hey, Ronnie. Hey, Pep. I just wanted to say that I think my best line, or the best line out of that whole thing was, I want to be a cyclist, but then my bicycle broke.
It was adorable. He is in constant pain.
Yeah.
He's in constant pain.
He didn't even want to sit.
Yeah, sitting hurts.
That's bad. That's when you know it's fucking...
No, it's a terrible thing. Here's Hard Rock Johnny. Johnny.
That was an amazing job by you in what was, I'm sure, a bit of an uncomfortable situation.
You know what? But here's the thing. It's Ginger Baker.
Yeah,
I certainly don't think that he owes the world anything. He doesn't owe me anything. I've gotten quite a bit from him over the years. And to see him in pain is not amusing or uncomfortable to me. It's sad, and I wish him nothing but the best. You know?
Who's running him out there like that? I mean,
I don't like the idea that he is forced to follow. I would have had no problem in the world if they would have called and said, could you promote these dates? Ginger can't make it in. I would have considered that a pleasure in my life.
It's crazy that he seems like he obviously has no control over what they're having him do.
I have no idea. Maybe he has some good days and some bad days. But I wish that they would take the gentleman home. I really do. I wish they would take him back to his hotel room and let him rest.
Let him sleep.
Yeah.
Let the man sleep.
Yeah, and how do you get painful to sit? It's got to be hard to drum when you can't sit.
Yeah, it's got to be...
life in general's got to be tough if it hurts to sit. It's got to be life in general.
All right, thanks, buddy.
Later, boys.
That's the great Ginger Baker, by the way. He says that the shows are sold out. I don't know if that's true. Thomas, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Hey, man, how great would it be if you took your advice and just stretched out, laid on the couch for a little bit?
I would have taken him back to my house to let him try to rest for a while, which is what a lot of women have made the mistake to do over the years. You know, I told you the documentary, which you have to see, opens with him breaking the director's nose, and we had the director in over a year ago, right?
Yeah, right when it came out.
It's a great, crazy documentary.
Jay Bulger is the director.
Yeah, Jay is a wild man himself. I mean, he lied to do the documentary. He called up in South Africa where Ginger was living and said, I'm down here. Rolling Stone wants to do an article for you. He lied and just went there. And then when he wrote it up, Rolling Stone did do the article. They just said, all right, we'll take it.
Beautiful.
And then that became the documentary. Here's John. John, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Ronnie, that documentary is unbelievable. I mean, when he just clocks that guy in the face, holy shnikes, that's unbelievable.
Oh, it's phenomenal.
When it's pretty apparent, like, he's telling Eric Clapton, the way it is and stuff like that. You can see, like, even in his pained state, that he's, like, still a tough son of a bitch, where Eric Clapton's taking direction from him and stuff like that. Unbelievable. Great
Eric Clapton has nothing but respect for that man, And what am I going to be? Pissed off that, he wasn't ready to do a stellar interview and talk about his work? He wasn't. He's in pain.
Sick.
He needs to go back to the hotel room and rest, and perhaps, in my opinion, maybe get off the road for a while.
Take it easy.
Yeah, I mean, when you have something like this happen, I know he's also have lung problems. He's in a tremendous amount of pain. Snowy, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Hey, Ron, how y'all doing?
Yeah.
That was as uncomfortable, I think, as that Jake LaMotta interview in O&A when he repeated the same joke 3 or 4 times about having diabetes because he fought Sugar Ray Leonard so much.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Being great in an interview isn't the most important thing in the world. These guys have been around for a long time. Jake is an old guy, and Ginger Baker is very sick. And I will tell you the truth. Just countless hours I've had of enjoying his music in my life. There's nothing I could possibly do for Ginger Baker that could imagine the enjoyment that he's giving me. And all I want to do is be respectful to the gentleman when he's in a rough patch of his life. He certainly doesn't have to come in here and do a great interview. Doesn't really matter. Here's our old buddy Cigars and Scotch. You're on the Ron and Fez show.
Yeah, Ginger Baker, amazing legend, and it's not throwing the word around. And I'm just wondering that if there's like a set of circumstances where that could have gone differently. Because for me, it could have gone the way it did, or it could have gone angry, and as in like one of those cases where not to meet your hero, like they're afforded a certain level of eccentricity, and with him, it's expected. But like, say it was like one of those days where Pepper plays the wrong song, then yells at you before the interview. Is there a day where that could have turned angry, where like, oh, I don't fucking need this?
I'm sure, you know what I mean? And particularly when I was younger, I had no problem acting like I was the center of the universe. But I am telling you, the thing about Ginger, no matter what he's done in his life, whether you like him or dislike the things that he's done, he's in a great amount of pain right now, and they should have not have brought him in here for these interviews.
Either way, it's very entertaining.
Yeah, well, you know, it's also life. Everyone listening is going to get older and sick themselves. If you're lucky, you'll get older and sick.
If you can work it out that well.
Someone actually wrote this on Twitter, Chris. Ginger Baker sounded like Chris Stanley will at his 40th birthday show.
A, it was 30th. B, sure, I slur sometimes and talk low.
Jim, you're on the Run of Fez show. Jim.
Yes, hi. I'm just wondering if they're bringing him on tour because I know he owes a ton of money, and I think in the documentary they raised like $1 million for him with some tour they took him on, and then he just went out and bought a bunch of polo ponies with him and brought them down to South Africa.
Yeah, he's he's his own dude, man.
He's been doing
Have you watched this documentary?
I've only seen parts of it. I haven't seen the whole thing.
At one point, he ends up with Fela in Africa.
That's crazy because Fela had his own compound, and
but Ginger was in the middle of that compound. It wasn't like he went there for a week. He stayed years. And he's just playing this white redheaded guy in the middle of 1970s Africa. It was fucking madness.
And the cops were constantly busting it up and shit. Like that was a real crazy fucking scene.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say it was the cops. It was more the military. I mean, it was like really nutty shit down there. Here's Eric. You're on the Ron and Fez show.
Hey, Ron.
Yeah.
Great job on that. Thanks for getting him out of there. That he doesn't need to be out there. It's just the parasites of the fucking radio or the music industry that are protecting their paychecks. You know, that's what it's all about. It's just sad.
But maybe, I mean, I haven't seen, maybe when he gets on stage, he feels, much better. I mean, I'm not, I wouldn't judge any of these people, they're with him all the time. The guy's in tremendous amount of pain, and you could see it, and even his complexion when he came in, it looks like his blood wasn't flowing. Yeah. And then what got to me is no one stayed in here with him, none of his team, to help keep an eye on him or, talk for him or explain some things. Greg. Go ahead, Greg. You're on the air.
Yeah, that was really painful to hear. I've been around a couple of older guys that, a couple of friends of mine, their fathers had developed COPD, and once an older person gets COPD, it's really ugly. One of my friends, his dad was a logger. I mean, a really tough guy, and this guy worked 6 days a week, sometimes 7, his whole life, but he smoked 2 to 3 packs a day. And I watched this guy going from one of the toughest guys I've ever known in my life to being just this frail, weak person. And his condition deteriorated really fast. And he ended up dying from complications from COPD.
Well, obviously,
I recently quit smoking, and I would suggest a pepper.
All right, that's enough. Jeez, let everybody move along. Jeez. Let's clean our palates a little bit.